Today's session we will start now. Today also we are going to talk about different teaching technologies which we can adopt. We are not going to talk anything that is usually done. We will try to talk about something which can be done also in chemistry. So mnemonics is one technique, we saw that. Art integrated project, how you can bring in, that also we saw. So like that, today also we will be seeing some different techniques. So today the topic will be pedagogy of science. So what is pedagogy of science? A science with understanding, that is called as pedagogy of science. So the ultimate objective will be to guide the process of teaching and learning. So we are going to use pedagogy of science. It has got different methods. Using different methods, using different teaching pedagogy, we are going to take the matter to the children. So our ultimate aim will be to make teaching interesting, to make the students understand the concept in a very simple and systematic way. So that is called as pedagogy of science. So here you see that we are going to adopt different teaching methods and techniques which will help us to teach the concepts in a different manner. So anything which is done in a different way, that reaches the crowd. Sorry, than the monotony, is it not? You do something daily and they don't like it, but when you do something differently, they immediately like it and they wanted to know what it is. So that is the idea of it. So we are going to use different techniques, teaching techniques, in order to explain the students for a better understanding. Very good. Right. Next, what are the different skills you can adopt in this? That is what we are going to see. So we have learned that pedagogy of science is the methods which we can adopt so that teaching becomes easy, so that teaching becomes innovative, so that teaching becomes something which will inspire the students to listen, because chemistry is a very dry subject. When you tell them atom is made up of nucleus contain proton and neutron, it's very difficult to imagine. Physics is not like that. When you're talking about a vernier caliper, you can bring the vernier caliper to the class and show them this is vernier caliper, this is how we take the reading. Like that you can show them, but chemistry is not like that. You have to make them imagine things, and not all are good in imagining, that, is it not? So it becomes very challenging for the teachers to teach chemistry. So for this reason only, we have to bring them to the subject. We have to use many attractive techniques. So what are the attractive techniques? That is what we are going to learn today. Okay. So examples for pedagogical skill. Alternating tone of voice. So whenever you are talking, you're going to talk in the same tone. They are not going to like it. That will be like sing a lullaby. So the child will go to sleep easily. So you got to alter your tone, okay, quite frequently, so that they will know where you have to give a stress. For example, if I'm going to talk about modern periodic law, what is modern periodic law? The physical and chemical properties are the periodic function of their atomic number. So now the physical and chemical properties, I'm giving a stress here. So that means physical and chemical property depends on atomic number. So the child will understand that here in this sentence, three things are important. What are they? Physical property, chemical property, atomic number. All the physical and chemical property depends on the atomic number. So whenever you talk, you have to give a stress. Where you have to give a stress, you have to give a stress. Where you have to raise a voice, you have to raise a voice. Where you have to soften, you have to soften. So alternating tone of voice is very, very, very good. Next, asking students questions to find out the prior knowledge. Very, very important. For example, when I'm taking metals, so what I should ask them some questions. Do you know what is the yellowish color metal I'm wearing? You can talk to them. So they will say, what is it? It is gold. So you know that metal gold is yellowish in color. Like that, we are going to ask them questions, and with the help of the question, we will be able to understand what is the knowledge the child is having. Suppose the child is answering correctly, reward for efforts. That very, very important. You have to say, very good. Oh, wow, good, excellent, keep it up. Okay, give them a round of applause. Or if it is going to be 6, 7, 8 children, even now, why 6, 7, 8, my dear, 9 and 10 children also, when you call them and put a star in their hands, no, they become so thrilled. Yes or no? I remember children, no, they don't even rub the star, they take it home and show it to the parents. So, but 9 and 10 level, you can't do that daily. You can just call them, you can make them stand before the class and give them a round of applause. Okay, you can say excellent. Okay, you can give them a star. You can give them a chocolate. Okay, something, some kind of reward for their effort. So this will motivate them. Okay, you can divide them into groups and give them some marks. So this will then changing the classroom setup, very, very important. You can arrange them in the form of a group, or you can take them to lab. You can make them, you can have your class under the tree. Okay, you can take them to garden. A small trip that will really make the class very lively and interesting. Once in a while, you can do all these things so that the children know, they really feel they will be expecting what you are going to do today, they will not know. So whenever I enter the class, they will ask me, today what, ma'am? What are you going to do? You should never make them guess what you are doing. Every day you can adopt one technique. Every day you can bring chocolates one day, you can give a star one day, you can have a quiz program one day, you can make them to have a drama one day. Okay, you can encourage them to tell a story one day. So when you do that, they will not be able to guess what you are going to do today. So they will be very, very eagerly waiting, and this eagerness slowly help them to have a attraction towards the subject, and they will automatically start getting motivated, and they will automatically start learning. So these are some of the examples of pedagogical skills which you can adopt so that you can make the class interesting. Next one is experiential learning. So this is a very, very, very important aspect of learning. What is experiential learning? We will see. Okay, so here you can see the screen. Okay, 1 minute. Experiential learning is learning by doing. You have to make the students to learn by doing some experiment, by engaging the students in hands-on experiences and reflection. So you can just give them a soap solution. You can ask them to add a litmus solution and ask them what is it. They know BRB, bases turn red, litmus blue, is it not? So by experiencing, they will understand the concept very, very, very quickly and easily. So by engaging the students in hands-on experiences and reflection, they are better able to connect the theory and knowledge. That is what. So they know that bases are soapy to touch. So you can just pour a drop of solution and you can ask them to touch and see. So they will understand it is soapy. So they will know that bases will be soapy to touch. They will know that bases turn red, litmus blue. So these are the things which you can just try to make them do, so that they will learn the concept in a much clarity. So learning by doing is called experiential learning. Okay, so it focus on the idea that the best ways to learn things is by actually experiencing it. Okay, when you just give them a bit of lemon juice, they will actually experience the taste of it and find out that it is sour, and they will know that acids are sour to taste. Here experiential learning comes into play. So learning, so the teachers should create opportunities for students to have experience experiences based on things they are able to learn. So that is how you should teach them. Okay, when you do this, what are the different methods you can adopt? We will see. Experiential learning, what are the example? For example, we can arrange a field trip. Okay, you can take them to a zoo. We have one day, well, recently, some 2 years before the COVID, we had taken our students to a farm. We actually showed them how agriculture is done. They actually saw how harvesting is done. They actually saw how they use a natural fertilizer. The person who had that farm, he came himself personally. He showed them how the fertilizers, how they grow the plants, what is drip irrigation. So the children were so thrilled. So when you talk about drip irrigations in sentence by sentence, they are not going to understand it. But when you take them to that place, you see that they understood what is drip irrigation. They understood how the water will go straight into the root, how the pipes are linked. So experiential learning is taking the children, making them to learn, taking them to garden. In our school, if you come to our girls' school, Bogapur, our ex-principal madam had prepared a beautiful garden. We have a beautiful garden. In that garden, you won't believe, sunflower, we had a sunflower. And when the sunflower bloomed, the whole school children, not even one child will pass through that place without standing and looking at it for it. It was a very, very new experience for them, because as you know, city children have not seen sunflower blooming like this. Like, they had lot of questions. Will the flower turn towards the sunlight, ma'am? We have learned that the flower will turn its head towards the sunlight. Will it do this, ma'am? How is it happening? What is inside? Why so many questions? They were small children. And even the grown-up ones, no, they were also with curiosity, they were also looking. So when they visit a garden, they will actually see the flower growing, actually see what should I say, the vegetables growing. That will be a thrilling experience. So all these, similarly, you can take them to a chemistry lab, and you can actually show the chemicals. How does it look? How potassium permanganate is very colorful. You can show them that. Isn't it? How brisk effervescence is coming out when you use a carbonate salt. How is it coming? How does it turn lime water into milky? All these, when they look at it and when they learn, they will never forget. I still remember children talking about burning of magnesium ribbon. Everybody would have seen that. No, whenever it burns with that light, when it comes, they immediately think of the crackers. How much of bright light it is coming now, like cracker it is coming, like that. So you see that never ever these experiences will be forgotten by the children, and automatically you see that unknowingly they learn the chemistry of it. So experiential learning will be a very, very good technology and method which you can adopt for teaching chemistry. So this will help them. You can see it will help them to think, it will help them to act, it will help them to experience, and it will also help them to reflect back what they have learned. So these are the advantages of using experiential learning. What are the different experiential learning techniques? That's what is given here. Field trip, about which we discussed. Art integrated project. In the last class, when we did art integrated project, I told you science experiments, you are taking to the lab and showing them demonstration. That is science experiment. So today we will do role play, interactive classroom, storytelling, heuristic method of learning, concept map. Some of the teaching techniques I will try to tell you. One more way of experiential learning is, okay, here you can see that whenever I teach them formulas, I will take like this. Can you see? What is this? What color? Can you see it? What is the color?
Yellow, ma'am.
Yellow. What is this color?
Green.
Green. What I will do is I'll take like this chips. Okay. In one color, I will write the, for example, metal means all the metal with valency. Every day I'll take this and do. One day I will use all the metals with valency 2 in yellow. Here, one radical, that is anion with valency 2, I will take. Right? So I will make like this. Here you can see that. Can you see? Yes. Can you see?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
What is
ma'am.
the
Calcium.
name? Can you? Symbol
Calcium.
I have written. Calcium. So you see in all the green I have used metal. Okay, with valency 2. And in yellow, 1 minute. In yellow, I have written the non-metallic radical. Can you see what is this? CO3. Can you see that?
Carbonate. Yes, ma'am.
Carbonate.
Carbonate.
So like this. So I will make a chit like this and I will put it in a bowl like this. Right? I will just take them to, whenever a child comes, I'll call a child and I'll ask her to take one yellow sheet and one green sheet. Okay, so now you just see here, I've taken one green and one yellow, right? Then after seeing this, 2 I have taken. Now what I will tell them is open and read it. What is it? You please read and tell me. Like that I will tell. Here you see in the yellow I have got yes. What is yes? Sulfur.
Sulfur.
Right? Sulfide. Here you see in the green I've got beryllium, Be. Okay, Be. Now when you join these two, I will ask her to write the formula. So she will write Be is the element, metal, and sulfur. She knows both as the valency as 2. So she will write like this, cancel. So the formula is BES. Right? Now when I do this, there will be another child who will come and ask for, Miss, I will do. So I will ask her to take another sheet. So now you see here, what do I have? You just see here. This is carbonate, CO3. Yes or no? Correct?
Yes,
Here you see we have Cu, copper. So what will be the formula now? What will be the formula? It will be
Copper carbonate.
Yes.
Cu.
It will be CuCO3. Here you can see that Cu and CO3. So they will, this is by experience. Okay, experiential learning. This is one simple example for experiential learning. You can do this. One day you can just, if you tell the children, they will prepare. So you can tell the children, one group, you tell them to prepare all metals with valency 1. The other group you say prepare all metals with non-metals with valency 1. Put that and ask them to make as many formulas as possible. So these things, no, generally they find it very difficult to remember the valency. Generally they find it very difficult to write a formula. But when you adopt this method, you see that they will come out with wonders. They'll come out with wonders. They will think in a different way and they will start memorizing automatically. So this is experiential learning. So you can do this. Yes, my dear teachers. Another method, I will just show you. 1 minute, I will try to share the screen. 1 minute, ma'am. So now another thing you can play like this. Is it not? This is a crossword puzzle. Just see here, and yellow metal. Okay, what is a yellow metal?
Gold.
Gold. Here you can just, you can make such sheets, or you can write this on the board. So gold, here you can see G-O-L-D, gold. So they'll be very thrilled. Next, then you can ask them, gas got when metal is dissolved in acid. What is the gas generally we get when the metal is dissolved in acid? What gas?
Hydrogen.
So here you just see, ma'am, H-Y-D-R-O-G-E-N. So hydrogen. Right? Next one, you see here, a ribbon which burns and gives white powder. So which will burn?
Magnesium ribbon.
Magnesium. So here you can see in the last, Magnesium, Magnesium. Now down, a white metal stored in kerosene. Which metal is stored in kerosene? Sodium.
Sodium. Okay.
Sodium is a metal which is stored in kerosene. So Sodium. So after taking metals and non-metals, if you prepare a crossword like this and you put it on the board and you call them, make them into group wise, ask them to come, they will be very, a gas used in designer bulbs, it's neon.
Neon.
So neon, here Neon, neon. The metal used in galvanization. Which metal are we quoting in galvanization? Zinc. See here, Zinc. So you can use this technique. And you can teach them. So by this, these are some of the interesting techniques which you can follow so that you see the child get interest in chemistry. Okay, simply we are going to just take periodic classification, just take metal and non-metal, tell them physical property, chemical property. You can be very sure they are not going to learn. You can be very sure. They will say, ma'am, I've left chemistry. Any of physics and biology, if I learn, I will pass. So that is the attitude of the children, especially boys. You have to give them something. You have to give them something, some kind of activity, some kind of interest. You have to pull them. And once you pull them, you see that they will really start doing well because they like all these kind of things. So when you do such activities, you see that automatically children will start having some interest towards our subject. So this is second method which I generally follow in this class so that the teaching becomes interesting. Now I'll try to share my PPT. 1 minute, ma'am. So here you see that how we learned, how experiential learning will make the chemistry lessons more interesting. So we discussed about field trips, we discussed about art integrated project. Now we will move on to role play. So we will see how role play is going to help. You may wonder how role play can be done in chemistry. So we will see that. Role play in education has been used for many years. You know that for history, it might be useful. For geography, it might be useful. Can we use it in chemistry also? We will just see. Now I'm going to show you a clipping where you can see that children have done role play. By combining playing games and simulation, you can teach science. So here the topic they have taken for role play is displacement reaction. So how will you tell them to prepare a role play? First, we will see what all you should have in a role play. You have to tell them, then only the children will try to prepare properly. You have to tell them, get your objectives for what lesson you are going to take. What is the topic on which you are going to prepare a role play? So my class children prepared a role play on displacement reaction. So here, what do they want to learn? They want to learn that more active element displaces less active element. How much time? This is very important. It should not be very lengthy. It can be a maximum of 3 minutes. You have to tell them that. Okay, are the students going to be working on a small group? Yes, of course, you can tell them the group can contain up to 6 children. Okay, what contest the students will be working? That is the content of it, the screenplay of it, they have to prepare and come. And you see that we can just guide them. A gentle push will be very helpful for them. Now